Radio.
This is Lady Gaga.
Hi, I'm Ariana Grande.
Hit music station.
What's up? I'm St. John.
Predestined Live Radio.
Number one hit music station. Woo!
What's up? I'm Doja Cat.
Predestined Live Radio.
Hi everybody, this is Rio Dabula and you're listening to Predestined Live Radio.
That I will have to climb, and there
About to make it hot. Predestined Live Radio.
This is Lady Gaga.
Hi, I'm Ariana Grande.
Hit music station.
What's up? I'm St. John.
Predestined Live Radio.
Number one hit music station. Woo!
What's up? I'm Doja Cat.
Predestined Live Radio.
Good morning, and welcome to Predestined Live Radio. And this is Pure Livelihood with your host, Coach Cathy. How you doing this morning? Oh my word, it's a beautiful, like I always say, I like this weather because you know what? God just gives you that air conditioner, and then we get to enjoy ourselves in the studios because with all the lights and everything that is happening in the studio, sometimes it gets too hot and we're like, oh, we need to get out of this kitchen. But how are you doing this morning? Yes, like I said, I'm Coach Cathy, and this morning I am not alone. Like I told you, I'm not a loner. I enjoy having company. And today we're having a very interesting topic because, you know, we're in COVID-19, we're in November, we're in almost December. Summer, December is just around the corner. But before that, before we even get to December, so much has happened in the year 2021. Due to COVID, so many people have lost their job. And funny enough, when you look at the statistics and everything, it looks like more men lost their job because you know what? We're looking into the construction industry, we're looking into the engineering industry, we're looking at a whole lot of industries that were affected by a lot of retrenchment, a lot of things. So you can imagine how is it like in our homes. I think the rate of divorces went up, the rate of separation, the rate of intolerance. So much has happened around us. And that is a topic that we cannot just sit back and look around and say, you know what, it is not happening to me, it has happened to my neighbor, therefore I will turn my back on it. No, it is affecting the society as a whole. And I think it brings us to the new subject. You know, I'm from the Christian belief, and in the Christian belief it says a man is a provider, a man is the head of the family, a man is the one who does this. And you know, I do that. But now the roles have changed. We find ourselves in a position where more women are earning more than their husbands or their partners. More women are in a higher position where at work you are in a position of authority, and yet when you come back home, you have to come back, you have somebody who is in authority. How do you balance that? We find that sometimes your husband, you know what, who was the provider all his life, now he finds himself in a position where he is not earning an income. How do we navigate that? And those are the things that came with COVID. You know, it was something that we never planned for. That's why it's a pandemic. Nobody knows how to deal with this thing. While we're still recovering from first wave, there's a second wave, from second wave to third wave. Now there's a fourth wave. So we do not really know what is going on around us. And it is making us anxious. It is making everybody say, what is going to happen? Do I have to plan? Is there any future to plan for? So therefore, today we're going to be talking on the topic of saying men's role in today's society, and how to navigate yourself in the new normal. And the new normal, that's the life after COVID, because we will not go back to the way things used to be. Everything has changed. This thing took us by surprise. We thought it was going to be, how the lockdown was supposed to be like 30 days in Yana or 14 days in Yana. Hey, already there we in day 500 and something of like, we've been in this whole thing, and it has been stressing, it has been straining. And because we look around, we listen to radio, we see some of our people going through the most. I thought, you know what, it will be ideal to bring a man of God in the studio to say, okay, Pastor, this is what is happening and this is happening around us. How do we navigate ourselves? How do we help our brothers? Because remember, this is November. It's all about the brothers. It's all about the men's mental health. It's all about, you know, like, brothers, please go check. Like, you know, prostate cancer is a serious thing. It's all about men's suicide, about their mental health, because none of us are in our right frames of mind. So you can imagine if we as women are in a position to be able to navigate ourselves, and the reason being, we talk. You know, amongst ourselves, we have these topics, we have this thing, we are open to go for therapy, we are open to go for coaching, but our brothers are not in the same boat as ours. So in the next almost 2 hours or so, we'll be talking about that with Pastor Khethang. I will introduce him after the break. We're going to take one more song, and after that song, the conversation between Pastor Khethang and myself will go on. This is the station that brings hope to the hopeless, and this is Coach Cathy on Pure Livelihood. Thank you so much for joining us. I see you, Bernard Dubenyone is saying, morning, morning, my coach, Cathy. I hope you guys are doing well. By the grace of God, we're surviving. And it says, Cathy Pirima, you are doing a great and keep up the great work. Oh, thank you so much, Bernard. I really appreciate it. And it's giving us all the love and the hearts and everything. Ke re ke lerato fela mo studio, watching all the way from 011 Rodipot. We see you in the West Rand. And yes, we are here on Predestined Live Radio. And I see you, Sister Tiny Matali. Good morning, folks. I'm right here enjoying your live radio show. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. We're going to take one more song by Aretha Franklin. And thereafter, I'm going to introduce Pastor Goodwill, Khethang.
Hi everybody, this is Rio Dabula and you're listening to Predestined Live Radio.
Listen, Mary, tell your sister to don't moan. Pharaoh's army. All of them men got drowned in the sea one day. Yes, they did. Mary, Mary, don't weep. Tell Martha not to moan. Don't moan, don't moan. Hey, if I could, if I could, I surely would. I'd stand right up on the rock. Yes, I would. I'd stand right where Moses stood. Yes, I would. Pharaoh's army. I know you know that story of how they got drowned in the sea one day. Oh yeah. Jesus said, Mary, Mary, don't weep, don't weep. Tell your sister not to moan. Don't moan, don't moan. We're gonna review the story of two sisters called Mary and Martha. They had a brother named Lazarus. One day while Jesus was away, Show me where you buried him. Show me where you laid him down. And when he got there, Jesus said, for the benefit of you who don't believe in me this evening, I'm gonna call and freak out. Oh, yes, I am. Oh, yes, I am. He said, hear my voice. He got up walking like a natural man. Oh, yes, he did. Oh, yes, he did. Jesus said, oh, man, don't you leave. Go on home and don't you and your sister moan. Don't moan no more. Because you see, Pharaoh's eyes. Pharaoh's army. They got drowned. They drowned. Martha, don't you moan.
Hi everybody, this is Rio Dabula and you're listening to Predestined Live Radio.
Yes, welcome back to Predestined Live Radio, and this is Coach Cathy, and I'm in the studio. I'm with Pastor Khethang, Goodwill Khethang. Dumelang.
Dumelang ausi le kae?
Le kae?
Re tsogile ngwaneso.
Re tsogile. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You know, I deem it a privilege, you know, when people can wake up in the morning and come spend time with us.
Oh, thanks for having me. Yeah,
Yes, I think one thing that I've learned, listeners and viewers at home, is that what Pastor Habana di profile. You know, I was like, okay, Pastor Khethang, remember the profile, and it's like, we don't do profiles. Like, no. You know, all I can say is that he is the minister of the Word of God, and another thing, I know that he is a husband to the gorgeous, like I've heard in the studio, Pume Khethang, and I think he's a father as well. He's a brother. He's a son. He's a friend, you know. So basically, he is everything that you'd want him to be. So when I isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, Patrick, no soul, healer Mabileta. I see you. Say hey, Coach Cathy. I see you, my brother. Thank you for joining us this morning. And I think before we can even get to the topic, this hot topic that I said I would like us to engage in, I think I would like to get to know a little bit about you. Who are you? Where are you from? Where did you grow up? Why to come background then when we talk about you, like I meet you, and get Pastor Khethang. So like that, you and I know his first name, Goodwill. You know, probably some people didn't even know that, and it makes me feel like I know you very well because I know your first name. But who are you? Where did you grow up? And how did you even become the minister of the gospel?
Yo, that's so much to answer. Basically, I come from the East Rand, Springs Kwatem, last town. We call it last town. Born and bred and raised there. My mother and father. I grew up actually in the 80s. My time it was in the 80s, early 80s. So yes, I'm born and bred in Springs. I grew up Kadina Godzilla Zadi riots.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I was actually telling some other guy over the weekend to get, hey, you know, you guys these days, hey, you think liatsiba, you know, you think liatsiba. Rona here in the East End, hey, nedibuwa baba.
Yeah.
So now this guy ki something in the metropolis. Hey, nedibuwa mo Springs mo. So the other guy also do you know the old tear gas? The old tear gas can. That one that would shoot on you, yeah. After that, yeah, you'd feel like, yo, I almost died.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up around that time. And how I got into the word of God, it was actually by chance.
Okay.
I grew up having a thirst for knowledge.
Oh.
Me being a pastor is not actually the right frame to say I'm a pastor. I call myself an evangelist.
Oh, yes.
Because I got into this thing with a thirst for knowledge. Ke batla knowledge. Like I'm looking around. I had friends who were Christians very early in life. And I've always thought, what are these guys doing? What is this thing that they are hearing? What are these things that they are hearing? Like, so you would with this thing. I actually want to hear it. And I can actually say I'm one of those people who read the Bible literally from Genesis to Revelations.
Yeah?
Just read.
Yeah, because nobody you wanted to know that thing that these people are what's
And just after reading, I realized what I just read. I didn't understand a thing.
Yeah.
Now I needed coaching. I needed spiritual advice. I needed someone or some people or an institution. How do you understand the word of God? So that's how I got into this thing. It happened by merely chance. It was nothing.
Or ko gae re godile ko kerekeng and I could see there was somebody o ile re ke moruti or eng. You know, sometimes we do these things because we want to follow in the footsteps of maybe Uncle so and so. Bona ne ba mo tlhompha, ba ruti ba hlomphiwa.
Funny enough, when growing up, re kgoletse ko kerekeng ya Catholic ya Roma.
All right.
And funny enough, I used to bunk church like nobody's business.
I don't blame you.
I used to bunk church like nobody's business. I remember this one time, the bishop was coming. So it's a cousin, but no, but young the bishop is coming, you need to be there, blah blah blah. Halfway, no, dude, we're not going there. We go back, chilla somewhere, chilla. Yeah, hear the people coming now. I said, join a crowd. I was early lunch. Now my father is asking, because my father is the one who was Catholic.
Yeah.
So, no ko kerekeng. Liboni man. There I go. No, we saw the Pope. My father just looked at me like, dude, do you know what you're talking about? You just said you saw the Pope. Then my father just said, no, these guys habaya ko kerekeng. So we had to come out with the truth to say, no, Ronari decided we just hung out somewhere. My father, so I used to punk church quite a lot. So I could say, yeah, maybe that was some of the reasons when the other Sunday school lessons were being taught. Now, I like, no, I don't understand.
It doesn't make sense.
So when I saw my friends, really teenager, Bali, engrossed into church, I was like, these guys, they're wasting their time. Don't they know how to Up until Lena Kifitla mo, ke understand what is it to have a connection with God? Then, yeah.
And I think maybe somebody might ask and say, you know what, you were not into church. What was your, how did it come about? You know, where you were like, yeah, no, I think now I can be, you might not be on the same level with them, but there is something, the change has just happened inside of you. What caused that? What was the incident that made you realize? Because I can't know if I did a Bible from Genesis. Believe me, probably most of the Christians, they have not even read it from Genesis to Revelation, because most of the time we read that which speaks to us, and then obviously you pray that God reveals whatever that you're reading. But what was that turning point for you?
The turning point, I think it was around about the 90s.
Okay.
1999, 2000. That's when it turned, because at that time I had just finished my tertiary. And now, I want to do you like now looking for this thing, this answer. Okay, my friends are employed, I'm sitting here and this. And you get your friends, but no, man, we're going to a morning prayer. We're going to a morning prayer, we're going to afternoon prayer. What are we praying for, dudes? What are we praying for?
Yeah.
Ke a botsa, re rapelang. But no, man, rapella gore go be le change in our lives, you know. Let's pray, let's go there. One day I decided, no, man, let me go with this guy. Re tsamaye, and then I'm listening there. Ke utlwa di testimonies about, you know, there was not that much change, but just listening to people and just realizing there's people out here who have so much faith. So much faith, and you're thinking, when are you just, it's like when are you a get up and go guy, you just
No
switch
pay
on and
la
off, yeah, no
fela,
pay la fail. I just kept on, I started asking myself, is there something wrong with me? Is there really something wrong with me? Why can't I connect with these people? Then I started getting a connection, because now you'd get these leaflets, these pamphlets, read this, these verses. Those verses that I just went through reading straight, now they had some context, because now there was this other person saying this word happened or was talking to the children of God. Not to me, it was just a record of history, just going through time.
Exactly.
Now there was this context. Now I started to understand okay, so now this is the reason why you have so many Christians. This is the reasons why you have so many Muslims. This is the reason why you have so many Jews and all this. Then now, my background, history. So now I had to go back to the Bible again. Now to start and understand the history of the Bible, it's a Mayajwang, and how does it tie in with me living today? So my one moment was one of those morning prayers. That's when I connected with the Spirit. The Spirit connected with me to say, dude, listen, I'm talking to you. And I've been, actually it has been talking to me for a long time.
But you chose to tune down
But because, you know, when you are young, you're thinking, by this age, now all these things, you start now wondering, is there something wrong with me? Was there something wrong with my family? Did I do something wrong? Did I do this? Then you connect with people, they tell you, no, you didn't do anything wrong. You're just not aware what is going on. You need to connect. I mean, people connect spiritually in different ways. I was telling these other guys over the weekend. This other guy, what is a difference between linyalo and lemijolo? But now the topic ended up if our faiths.
Yes, yeah.
Ditumelo tsa rona. Kere, whatever you believe in, if you believe in it and you do not waver, it will work for you.
True.
You know, it will work for you. Whether you want to believe in Jesus, whether you want to believe in whatever you believe in it, and you do not waver. The thing is, you cannot believe in it and look at something else. You have to stick to it. Now, the problem, we want to latch on to many things at the same time. So now that's why you find people they start questioning all these other funny questions. Is like, okay, if obviously you are looking at something else. You'll come back if you when you're ready. You'll come back. If this are you'll come back when you're not if you're ready. Right now, also be ready. That's all the questions. Go there, explore, come back. So now my explorations done some Yes.
Yeah, I like that because whenever we talk about Christianity, we think that it's a one size fits all, that whenever we receive the Lord Jesus Christ, we receive it in the same way. And when you sit down, like you're saying, listening to people's testimonies, you realize that God spoke to us in the different stages of our lives, or certain things might have happened in our lives and we was like, okay, now go batla mo ko krile mo teng. And sometimes because like you say, God has been speaking to you, God will put you in your corner. You're looking at your life to say, okay, everybody around me is working. Everybody around me, they are life, they are prospering. But what is wrong with me? So God will put you in that corner where you don't have anything, where now you start asking yourself questions. Because sometimes when we're in our place of comfort, where we are in a place of plenty, we don't ask those questions. There's no need. But because you were in that space, God was like, okay, we're taking Goodwill. Go more and go into that. And I think it's beautiful for us to always know the background to say, how did people come into Christ? Because some people might say, oh, you are fortunate because you grew up in a Christian family. But how many people that grew up in a Christian family and they ended up resenting it to say, no, I don't want to be in this because probably like you were saying, your father was Catholic. Now you are being forced to go to church because all of us are Catholic. But probably when you get to church, it's like, what the heck is going on? But Pastor Khethang, like you say, you want to be called an evangelist. Somebody must say, what is the difference between a pastor and an evangelist? I think that's another thing because he mentioned that you consider yourself an evangelist, and then there's a pastor. Is there a difference between an evangelist? Because I think maybe those are the, with the little knowledge that I have of the good book, it says some are pastors, some are evangelists, some are preachers, some are this. So what is the difference between a pastor and an evangelist? What does an evangelist do?
The office of the evangelist, I will see, basically, it's the people who preach the gospel to all the lost souls. Mosebetsi wa hae ke go etsa ho.
Is to win
Mosebetsi wa
souls.
hae, yes. Mosebetsi wa hae, you see, as I'm saying, this guy was asking a question. For me, it is easy to answer questions that are related to the Bible than for me to stand up and preach.
Oh, that makes sense. Yes.
I do preach, but I find it much easier to answer people, to give people answers. So, they're like, yo, this guy, literally, you turn the topic around from something in a mundane. Now you take it into the word. Easier. Because I think I've spent so much time with the Bible and in the Bible. Now, there are people, Bobo Pastor, not the way I view it, Kiki, when those souls have been won,
Yes.
to keep them.
Oh, yes.
Not just keep them, Hore, you are keeping them maybe for your church, but you're keeping them in the faith,
Yeah, in the word.
in the word.
Yes.
The encouragement that the pastor gives constantly or daily. An evangelist. The evangelist does the groundwork. You do the groundwork, and then the pastor the flock together.
So, you've won them.
Yes.
The evangelist in the
Yes,
tents and whatever
yes.
to say, come, the coming of the Lord is sooner, and then people get converted, and once they get converted, now it's a job of your pastors, your preachers, and the teachers to make sure that these people now they have a better understanding of the Word of God.
Yes, they have a home in God. Yes.
I have learned something, and I see barracking. Hey, barracking. It's nice, I am here. As your number one fan, go Pastor Bay. That is Pumisi Visi Khethang. Yes, we see you. Thank you for joining us. Yes, and Tata Khethang, I think the reason why we came here is that, and I'm happy that you say you are the student of the Word, and being the student of the Word, I think for me, I realized, especially with the COVID that started in 20. It looks like it's been long.
Forever.
It's been forever now. It started in 2019, but we in South Africa, it was 2020 where when we had the president saying, there's going to be a lockdown. I think lockdown was supposed to be for Finyana days. We thought, it's something that comes and go. But we found ourselves in our houses from the 18th of March until the 31st it's April, where we were staying in the houses. We don't go, I think at that time, all of us were in a bit of confusion because in our lifetime, we've never experienced something like that. But as a man of God, you know that they say there's nothing new under the sun. There's absolutely nothing new under the sun. And my biggest thing that I have noticed is that I've realized is that so much has happened in the process besides the COVID. So much has affected us as human beings. So much has affected us as couples, children and everything. Kids that were looking forward to going to matric dances, they didn't have that opportunity, and families that found themselves that they were co-parenting or blended families. It was a bit of a challenge because now you don't get to see your kids, you don't get to do all of this thing. But I have realized that COVID contributed to a number of job losses. We as a country, the economy had to come to a standstill. Not only as a country, but the world as a whole had to come to a standstill. And my concern has been, I have seen that most of the people that have been affected, it's our brothers. Not to say that the sisters were not affected. And something came to me and say, how do they navigate themselves in this COVID? According to the Word of God, it says, man is the provider. you know, and all of us, we want providers. Hello, if I get married, I need a provider and all of that. And you as a man, you feel good when you know that you can provide for your family. When your kids run to you, when your wife run to you and say, I need this and this, and you are able to do that. But with the new normal, most men find themselves being at home. And somebody might say, I'm a Christian, I'm supposed to be a provider. What do I do when I find myself in that situation?
Yeah. O kgethile your topic e ka re tseba hore o batla re delve it deep.
Yes.
First of all, the issue of provision. If you look at it in a cultural way, now I'm not talking African cultural way or whatever. Even in the Bible, there's culture. There's a whole lot of culture in the Bible. There is your Hebrew culture, your Jewish culture, and then you get to the culture people bitswang the Gentiles, and then you get into the culture Christians. The culture that we've actually woven this culture to favor the man and make the man always abe there
Above.
above.
Yes.
Now, if I can ask you a simple English word, what does the word helper mean? Now, most people fall into a trap because we've made the word helper. This person is my servant. Now, the word help does not mean I am weak or you are strong.
True.
Rea tusana.
Yes.
One tusa.
Ke tshebedisano
Ke ya
mmoho.
ho thusa.
Eh.
Now you take that, ha Bibele e re Modimo a re a mo etsetsa a suitable helper. If the word Modimo na batla go e sebedisa, he would have said a mo etsetsa a suitable servant. Because there were servants after that. Ha etsa a servant for the woman. Now you take that word helper, you drag it through 2000 and something years. That word, say a diminutive word, meaning you are my subject, you are beneath me. Whereas in the original thought, it had nothing to do with you being superior or me being superior than you. Let me make another example. In the Bible, Matthew, I'm just not gonna keep it the verse.
Yes.
There is a scene where the Pharisees and the Sadducees batla go Jesu ba re ba batla go mmotsa gore if a husband le mosadi ba nyetse and the husband passes away and then mosadi o ankewe ke the brother of the wife of the late,
Yes, the late husband, yes.
now say a wife like this one ba botsa this question about it, now whose wife is it going to be in heaven? Now, Bibili knowing, having seen their hearts, now, bona ne ba re ba mo trap. Summarize. Ori in heaven, there is no man, there is no wife.
Okay.
You find many scriptures that refer to that thing. In heaven, re bana ba Modimo. There is
Yes,
no
we
one.
all- there's no above.
Yes.
We are all equals. We
Yes.
are
So
all,
now,
yes.
now, why do you want to make it hore mo ko lefatsheng go na le o sebetsang o mong? Now, ke culture.
Yes.
Our cultures have conditioned us to say a woman cannot have this. A woman cannot have this. I'll show you something. Tabaya Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene, she was a working woman.
Yes.
Literally in a sense, working woman. So une ana le tšhelete ya gae.
Yeah.
She was providing for herself.
Yeah.
She didn't have a husband. Now, ha re tlo re a person is a helper, o mong ke servant. Then we are saying women are never participated anyway. And that's not the truth. Women have been working and have been providing for their families for a long time.
I agree.
Now, the problem, we choose the type of work, these are muscular types of jobs. Ne? Construction, blah, 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 blah. It's big, tackling those things. Again,
Yes.
if there was no man, this thing would not have been built. So, rinkile that role. But that does not mean a wife cannot provide. A wife cannot help munna wa gae. monna cannot help msadi wa gae. It doesn't mean that.
So basically, if I get to understand what you're trying to say is that the reason why we find ourselves in this situation, it's all about our cultures and our beliefs that we have already said, okay, because of provider, we're looking at the provider from the superiority side of things, that because you are doing this muscular jobs and I'm
yes.
doing this job, so therefore that makes me a big higher than you, and when and yet, like you're saying, according to the word of God, God said, I'll make you a helpmate. Didn't say I'll make you a servant.
No.
So basically, so what you're saying, when a brother is listening right now and saying, you know what, I'm not working, this is your equal, this is your wife. So the minute that he brings something in the house, it should be something for both of you, not being looked at, oh, I'm no longer working now, therefore.
See, now, when now we put on the side of the brother. Now there's the sister on the side, oring, I want a provider.
Yes.
Oring ko yena. So liena now unida homonsa hore. You are just as compatible to this person. Okay. COVID dia fitla. COVID hai fitla, all the projects, all the major projects, they are kwal. Because now people cannot gather. We cannot build. We cannot do this. We cannot do this. All these things that redishebile historically they were recurring masculine prone. They are stop. We're all coming back to where? To where we're saying there's a helper kotlung. The helper I do to kotlung.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Now I have to be in the house. Am I still superior?
That's what I want to know.
You see now,
yes.
it cannot be, because now, coincidentally for some, when the brother akutla kotlung bare msebetsi fedile, mama ke yena o berekang.
Yes.
Let's say ubereka at some retail place, whatever, mo berekang thing. Or kidding, call centers and whatever. Like, because this is the misconception, it's created in zone. Mosebetsi o ka reng ha o heavy, give it to the woman. Okay, now she's working. The brother has a bit.
How do we balance that?
Now it needs to be balanced both ways to unlearn the mentality of I am the provider.
Yes.
In a family, both people have to provide. Right now I'm providing care for the children. It cannot be a lifelong thing. In most liberal or liberal families, me o sa sebetseng o thola an income.
Yes.
Wa gola. Akere ke ena o setseng ko tlong o manager this.
Yeah, he's managing. She's managing
the
your
manager
home.
of
She's
this,
the
yeah.
managing.
Like
Yes.
a manager, that space is manager, I'm managing this.
Yes.
In liberal households, the lady unali salary high.
So I think saying that, if let's say we find ourselves in this space, I like it that you put it that way, that in a liberal home, a lady is managing the home. Ne? So if now the tables have turned, like we find ourselves in a space where the brother now has a bit, and because of COVID, it's the new normal. And now I'm finding myself that I'm working and I'm earning a good salary, which is okay. How can we balance this thing in terms of saying, if things were different, I'll be earning a salary. But now comes my partner and saying, you know what, I'm not working, but I'm going to help with the duties in the house. Like the roles that my wife was doing, now I'm going to do them in terms of making sure that the kids are okay by going to school. By the time my wife comes back, food is ready. You know, you create a home. So is it something that you think that men are able to do, or because of our cultural beliefs and everything, is it a bit of a challenge right now where you find yourself to say, you know what, let me help my wife? Like you say, I like it when you say we are helpmates, we are helping each other. Let me make sure that my wife, when she comes back from work, everything is in order. But according to our culture, you'll be looked upon as a sis or seats or when you do those things. So how do we speak to a brother who finds himself in that and to make sure that there is still that, you know, that harmony? Because if motho a kgathetse and still have to come back and cook and do all of that thing, it might be a bit of a challenge.
Very pertinent question. Now, this is the reason why you see today, these days, before people get married, by marriage counseling. Now, prior to that, culturally, I marry a woman based on one thing, maybe Kimputar Kamrat, ne? Or Mupila, or whatever reason I have. I use those reasons and then I say I want to marry this person. First of all, I can't even wash for myself.
Hey, ke
Ga ke
bothata.
tsebe go apeya. I can't make the bed. I can't do anything. Nna ke tloga from my mother, I want another person to be my mother. Ha se ke sa bereki, ke boela ko gae ke dula fatshe ke re. A bereka a tswa a re nna ke a dula ke a tlhama ke re. Now this ke the effects tsa culture. Now because now you said ha re godiswa ba re tlhatswa dikotlolo no dikotlolo ga tlhatswe ke bashimane.
Di tlhatswa ke basetsana.
Ya tlhatswa ke basetsana. Apeya ha msemane ga apeya. You see now the way you are raised in a long run ya affect. Now if you unlearn you teach kids at an early age gore ba lekana. Ga ona le bana ba msimane le nganyana. O ska re ko mong wena these are your roles. Wena o tlo etsa garden, wena o tlo clean ko tlung. Switch the roles or mix them up now and then. Bana ba tlwaele gore le nna ke a itse go bereka ko gardening, le nna ke a tseba go tsa, le nna ke a tseba. Those things culturally di really maditse because now that guy re buang ka yena. Ga sa thola I dutse fatshe. Ga tlamela a etsa those duties ga itse. First of all ga itse. On top of that, frustrated.
Yeah.
Ha ke bereki. This person o tlo buaneng ke nya ke lapile nna. Hey, I'm hungry. O buaneng tsa piso shebile watch. When the wife come back home, ga wa peiwa. Go thoma enjwano ke kgathetse. O santsane nga tlo demanda some duties later on.
Exactly, yes.
The whole day he was just sitting. Ga etsa nix.
And then this woman has been working
This
all
woman
day,
has been working.
And he must come back.
Must come back, a pute, am cleanele, amapaele,
and still provide.
still provide.
Yeah.
O bona go tlo lona tension.
Eh.
The other one is carrying more. Just like right now, the role of a provider in a man, how kare ko bontate ba rona ba gale, would you have allowed your wife to work? Gale culturally it was not working. Now, dintho tse di tsamaya le dinako. As time goes, I mean, first of all, ka nako tsela tsa gale, you'd remember hore only white men could vote.
Yes.
Then women fought hore rona re batla ho vote. Later on, black people, no, we want equality. Re batla equality for everybody. But still, this equality, haitly all at once for everyone. It's a gradual thing. Because of these cultures, tse ke di tjhong.
Yes.
Now you take culture, we mix a politics, o tlo ba le mathata. And the word of God, o tlo ba o ka ba le an uprising.
Yes.
Because now you find where you get those people who are very extreme who are saying no, away with men. Rona re tlo dula re le basadi fela.
Yes.
Ba bang ba re no, away with women re tlo dula re le banna fela.
Yes.
But ndimo ga etsa ntho eo. O etseditse gore re dule together.
Yes. Yeah, I think I like the way that you've put it because most of the time, and I think that's why I'm addressing it with you being the minister, because most of the time, we shield around ourselves whenever we don't want to do certain responsibilities or change our ways. We always say, but I'm supposed to be the provider. But when the circumstances have changed, like we are now in the new normal, things have changed. Therefore, if you cannot now, does that mean now and then I think we're going to take one more song, and after this song, after the break, I just want us to discuss something. It's something that I remember when I had one of the guests. He wrote a book, Motagam Chadi, a minute before Lobolo. He made mention of, as a man, we're now talking about equality, but as a man, you are the head of the house. You're sort of like giving the guidance of how sort of like things are going to be done, and obviously with your wife being the helpmate, together you sit down and whatever. But he said something very important because he experienced himself where he was working and then she was not working. And I remember the question that I asked was, how did you navigate yourself in that? And how did your wife take it? And the wife was here. It was the two of them being here. So I think I would like us to look into that part to say, is it important as a man how you set the tone in the family, that when you find yourself in this position, then when the roles are reversed, then the wife can copycat what you're doing? Is it important? So have that in mind. Viewers and listeners at home, this is Coach Cathy on Pure Livelihood with Pastor Khethang. We're discussing the role of men in today's society because as we know, COVID came and disrupted, you know that word, disruption. But COVID came and did the disruption where we find ourselves where roles have been changed, you know, and like Pastor Khethang said, we've been doing things mostly according to our cultures, according to our traditions. And now we have to unlearn. Imagine can I live 50, can I live 55? Now I have to learn the ways of the old. It might become a bit of a challenge, but we're saying, how can we meet each other halfway as couples? How can we meet each other halfway as partners? Or what is it that we need to teach our kids in today's society to say that there is no roads? So do you agree? Don't you agree? You can just give us your comment and let us know and all of that. And if you want to, to give us a call. I think if you look at on our Facebook, you can give us a call, and you know, maybe you've got questions that you want to ask the pastor, evangelist. You know, we'll stick to the evangelist side of things. You can give us a call on 087-265-6001, and he'll be more than willing to take your calls. And I see you. Paul is saying, keep up the fantastic work, Coach Cathy Pirma. Thank you so much, Mpomadolo. I really appreciate. And I see Mr. Clement TC saying, ooh, guys, let's see technology, ne? Saying, wow, Pastor Khethang, a good teacher of the word. I am enjoying this show a million times. Thank you so much. We're going to take one more song, and after the break, we're just going to come back and continue with this subject, which is right now, it's a very hot subject, and it's a subject that people do not want to talk about because, you know what, we never knew that we'll find ourselves in this. This is the station that brings hope to the hopeless, Predestined Live Radio.
About to make it hot. Predestined Live Radio.
This is Lady Gaga.
Hi, I'm Ariana Grande.
Hit music station.
What's up? I'm St. John.
Predestined Live Radio.
#1 hit music station. Woo!
What's up? I'm Doja Cat.
Predestined Live Radio.
from a master of inspiration. I'll tell you, the flesh that dies brings a God that lives in you to achieve the power of life in you. I sincerely pass my greatest gratitude for saying, my Papa, who left a message in a song for me to hear. It can only be proper to pass it on to the ears that feel and know truth. Yes, I remember what my father said. Hey, hey. Let me say something right here. Look deep in your heart, for you are a master of generations to come. So you can be remembered and never wonder when your name is not called from the register of the masters. Yes, you are a master. Your body shaking with this Cause you never, ever before. I would like to ask the choir to join me sing the song.
best music in the world. This is your number one radio station.
Yes, welcome back. That was Sanko Mota, Papa. And you know, off air, I was talking to Ntate Khethang, and I was like, why this song? You know, it just reminded me that just before the COVID, you know, seeing the great Sepotsula on that stage and performing the song, it was just amazing. Little did I know that that would have been the last time I see him performing on stage. And we were talking off air, and I was like, why Sanko Mota? Why Papa? You know, because you're such an old soul. We've got Aretha Franklin, like guys. Studio. If you expect him my piano, it's in Kajenu, we are going back. Like we're going back to those things. Some of you barking, I think, by the 90s, so
No,
they will not understand.
they're lost when it comes to this.
Yo, guys, latlhegile ne? But why Sanko Mota? Why Papa? What makes it so special?
It's one of those songs that remind me of my father.
Okay.
He actually grew up with the guys Tsako Sankomota, Tate Frank Liepa, and Tate Tsepotsula during his youth.
Yes.
Yes. So these were people, when we grew up, we had easy access to them. It was easy for us to see them. So
yeah.
there's that, plus the fact that this is the only song I ever saw my father share a tear.
Wow.
When the song was playing
Yeah.
in the 90s. I think it was 1990, yes. That was the only time I ever saw my father. Allah Ansadikili. I was like, wow, this song. So this song has been, it stuck with me, but not only me and my siblings as well, because me and my sister, we experienced that. And my father was a very strict person, strict but fair and loving. But to see him at that moment, I melted down, and I was like, no, this person's flesh and blood. He's not Superman.
Yes,
you know?
he's real. He's human.
He's human. He's human, yes.
No, but it's a beautiful song. And like I said, you know, Ntate Sepotsula, whenever he was on that stage, he'll just give it, he will give it his soul and give you everything. But, you know, I think coming back to our topic, like, you know, it's a very sensitive one, and we don't want to talk about it because of, you know, it will be like, what are you trying to say? Am I not doing enough? Am I not doing whatever? And as a man, do you think that you're a tone setter in your house? You know, and is not to say that sisters are not, mothers are not tone setters and everything, because, you know, some of us come from an environment where we were raised by a single parent, and obviously your mom had to take a role to make sure that you come out the best that you do. But as a man, do you think that if you do things a certain way, when the roles have changed, will your wife be able to copy what you do? And what do I mean? I'm just going to make an example. Let's say when you started working, when you started getting your salary, you brought it, mama, 5,000 rand. What do we do with it? Remember, she's not working at that time, but you bring your paycheck and say, this is how much I'm earning. What is it that we can do with this money? Do you think when the roles have turned, if you were to do like that, will that be a tone setter in the house to say, this is how we do things?
When you asked this question earlier on, I quickly went somewhere. Now, tone setter. Now, if we're now about a tone setter, who sets the tone for you? You see now that the Bible teaches us, if we go biblically, if we're saying the man is the head of the family, of the house, then the man has to have a head, a director.
Amen.
Now, if my head, the tone, the one who sets the tone for me, is God, and set a tone for my wife, I think if got the tone directly from God, it's easy for me to pass it on to her. Now, Kiring, Mudim was the first one to give.
Yes.
It's easier for that person to say, there is a chain of giving here. No one just got it from somewhere. I was given, I'm giving it as well. I believe if you do it that way, it will be easy if the roles of life they change economically. The tables there. When she's on the side, but all along my husband was receiving from God. I received from God. I'm able to give easily. But now if only monna usna tone is set from God, I believe it's very difficult even for you who are 5,000 a week is a good room. It will fit njalo short.
Yeah.
It will fit njalo ay bathi imali shortile emakhawuntini emsebenzini khabayetsang ay ke 2,000 unka 3,000 e ipela yona. Because now you do not see gore modimo o faga kana kana. Now for you to set the tone has to be set for you first.
I like that. I think I like that. And I never looked at it that way, because the way you are putting it, you're putting it to Rebona. If una le hlooho ya hao, like, which is God, and God showed you how this is how things are done. So you continue with that. Then re ka se be le problem even now with the new normal. The new normal is not going to be a challenge, because now me as Cathy, I have realized hore ntwena ba re keng, my husband all along, you know what, when he was working, natlisa tšhelete feletse mo lapeng, and then re beya mona, and we are able to say ke ena e re nang le yona, therefore bonyane bo re nang le bona ga re bone gore re bo kgaogana yang, you know, to place it there and there and all of that. So basically is to say that if your head is Christ, do that which Christ has done, and then everything will flow. You know, and I think that reminds me of what minister was saying. As a man, you, like you say, God gave you. After God gives, you give to your wife, and automatically the wife gives to you. It's like when you give your wife love. And modimo itse o go ratile ne, ha go ratile o file lerato, o rata mosadi wa gago o rata bana, and but in turn you get back that love, because it's a circle. Because of, once kids see that daddy loves our mother, it's easy for kids to love you back. You receive that thing.
Yes,
so the tone setter, it works that way. It's a circle to say that bona, what you put here, what you put in is what you get out.
What you get out.
Yes. All right. So I think that's what I was talking about. Motakam Child was explaining, to say that when I did not work, because at the beginning, from when I started working, it has been, even though the two of them were working, but he brought that thing to say, Mngam, then it was easy for Mgamlena are hi baba nami na engi tholai. So they used to put things together, and then they were able to divide that.
Yes.
Yeah. But now let's come to the issue of the household. You know, because of, you know, like you say, some have never even lifted a broom. Simple things just to prepare eggs. But how do we, I will say, maybe asking you from the woman's point of view, what advice can you give us to say, how do I now help my husband without being impatient with him, or my partner, to teach him to say that now we do things differently. I would like for you to help me out without me lashing out, because now I'm angry, I'm tired and everything. How do I address this issue?
Household. As I indicated earlier on, maybe the guy doesn't know how to cook. You use patience there. Right. Diligence. The problem it's not cooked. Daddy, why it's happy? Or no, daddy had to pay. All right, mtuam. Weekend, sizopeg. So you too. 1 month or so. Now you're having another bonding session. To doing something which is going to in turn help you. But it needs patience. As in to occurring, weekend game. But communicating the frustration without showing frustration. Obviously, this thing is frustrating you. Do you communicate it showing that frustration? It's not gonna work. You communicate it in a very calculated, intelligent manner. Or sheba. So perform, because by the time and I want to, but how can two so? And again, understand how let me help you. What all? Let me help you help me, actually. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Because I do not think there is a person with a sound mind. Okay, melang gore adule a tsheboroto from hoseng mtshegare in the afternoon go bana ga itse go pheya papa. It just doesn't make sense. This person just need to be schooled. Or this is how you cook pap. This is how you boil an egg. This is how you fry. This is how you make a steak. This is how you boil veggies. This is how you do this. Once you catch on to those things, tse ding the easy tse.
Yeah.
Tedi noma ungakoropanga, shanyela nje ekseni. Shanyela kusuka idust yasebusuku, ushanyela. Eventually utlo fihla I reckon ke mop.
It's baby steps.
Baby steps. Later on, love, ngibonisa umshini upresswa kanjani ngenze washing. Watsiba satlotsiba khotsa washing atsibe khotsang. Baby steps. Because now you are unlearning something that even his forefathers were practicing. You want to unlearn it with him now because there's COVID. Now, if you are not using patience, utlokopana le stumbling block. Khufitla mo gore no mina nyayeka lena ra nyayeka hamba lwena hamba.
These are things that could have been
Could have been solved. That high divorce rates keep on just packing and packing and packing. It just keeps on packing. I mean, COVID exposes it's not just in a family setup. I know right now we're talking about a family setup. It exposes the inequalities they're existing.
Yes.
We know, but we're just not sure how deep they are. Now imagine if the inequalities they continue unchecked. In the next 2 years.
Sure.
We've just had a terrible period here, July.
Yeah.
I don't know could it been avoided or not. Now imagine in the home. You see now, baby steps. Baby steps. Everything is in gradual. Even culture, when it was introduced, it was introduced all at once.
It was not boom.
Yeah, it was not boom. Someone decided, I'm going to require a gift for my child to be married. Say malobol.
Yes.
I'm going to require this. I'm going to require this. Really, a group of uncles and a family of that tree line. Say that thing. Say practice that thing. It just didn't boom at the same time. It happened gradually over the years. We can unlearn it gradually over the years as well.
So it needs the willingness from the other party to say, I am willing to learn, and the willingness from the other party to say, I'm willing to teach with patience.
With patience.
Yes. And
with patience.
Yes, with patience, because that's what is needed right now.
Yes.
Because we cannot even afford to be impatient.
We cannot, because now everything a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
Now we're sitting ticking time bomb. Each and everything. But to sabatsaba le khubua because kotlung yo kuzoyenzakala something ithingabuzi ithingashuti ini phelile ini yenzeni motho tsaba le khubulela.
So ha setso ore motho a re tsukere fedile ngoba
ngisebenzi ngitshela ngoba ngisebenzi.
But you are just and you're just making a comment, probably no fita
fela wena o se aware gore eng. Because now we're sitting in this ticking time bomb ya gore ntate ga sebetsa le mo sa tshaba le go bua anything. Now you cannot be living ka tsela e jwalo o phela ka letswalo in your marriage.
Yeah.
Marriage is something expressive. You need to express the emotions, you need to express whatever you're feeling at that time. How to bottle up, it festers and festers and festers. Exploded.
And I think when you said marriage is something that is, do you think that sometimes when partners find themselves not waking up because of the stress levels, is that sometimes that contributes to maybe, and get we've got the kitchen, we've got the main room, the issues of the main room, that they end up not being addressed. So how do we deal with that? Because I think that's another thing that we as women, we sit down, we talk about these things. I don't know if guys do sometimes sit down and have conversations like this. Rona, Rona lebu bola. Let's talk. Get a platform. We find ourselves, we are able to ask advice. And it's not a platform, it's bashing or anything. And there are any other platform. I just talk about the one that I know that I'm involved in currently. But we are able to say, into same side, maybe I find it difficult to be intimate with my partner or this and that and that. And then we are able to say, hey, SCC, maybe we're angry, maybe we're insane. But is this something that men talk about to say that as much as you might feel like you're no longer in control, that you do not neglect that part?
Ask Cathy, I can safely say this generation, it's starting to realize the importance of talking and not bottling up. It is not happening as it is happening ka bomme. But it is slow paced. Because now uthola dilo tse tshwanang le bo di suicide le bo di ing. Because now this person o bottle up o tshaba gore ha ke tlo re go go se Khethang hasn't a problem so nna ke tlo re low week. You see? Ha tsebi a ikae. Now the space is vacant. It's short ka batho who are going to fill up the space go be le dipotla tsa bo ntate.
Yes.
I know they are there, but they are just not as much for men, just like it is for women. But the space definitely needs more men, coaching men to say, dude, it's right to talk. You need someone to talk to.
So this men's conference, as much as a joke, maybe it's something that is needed.
You see, now it's made into a joke because now, hey, men's conference, 14, and
Exactly.
but it's actually something that men need to do. Conference, branch out,
Yes.
You see, now I admire guys like Bo Patrick Shai, the initiative that he's doing with the community thing to try to heal the man. When a man is healed, it's very difficult to hold any harm. But when a man is hurting, the only thing that he delivers is hurt.
Yeah.
Most among things, it's hurt. It's hurt. It does not matter whether ngwana wa gae, msadi wa gae, mme wa gae, ngwana kwabo. Ntwa yetsang it's hurt.
Yeah. Like they say, hurt people hurt others.
Hurt others. It's unfortunately it's a vicious cycle ka tsela eo. So now you need to have these platforms where bontate ba gona go bua by express.
And I think I'm happy that you're talking about it. And it's okay to talk about these things. Because I think that is the one way that we can save relationships and save a whole lot of things. Because no talking, it has not helped. And I'm happy to say that you are saying we are living in a generation, they find it easy to come to say, hey, Baba, I'm going through this. What do I do?
You see now, mutlosa ko dithakeng tsa gae o misa ko baba o zanga ka bua le motho o re mina ngendoda mangitshele lezo zinto.
And I think that's where the problem is.
Unlearning all these things that created any problems, because now the unlearning of all these cultural stereotypes that going forward. Unlearning.
Yeah, Mara, I think we've got a long way because, you just made me realize something, because what I said is that this boy will go to Wena. And then yet when now you are from that generation, yeah.
Hey, now you're like thinking about the answers to this problem making a linyo. Now you're telling me now basically that unfortunate instant ya hore uthole moto lo ring how re man azendlini kunje ara ashaya ndoda shaya faka induku kuzoba right faka induku.
And that's what leads to GBV.
You see now, because yena o solve dilo tsa gae ka go shaya. Ola witse bua le yena ola are kunje kuba indoda uzobona. Wabali an unfortunate instant, because unfortunately it's as with life, there's light, there's darkness. Ukabali like uthole ukopane le motho ore man gona le problems or man a dule fatshe re bua.
Yeah.
A advice a coach a raina man tsa gona le batho ba soso ba thusana ka dilo tse soso ka dilo tse soso. I was going to make a point just earlier on Khethang ganyana. My train of thought ya Khethang. Amen. O hlolega go jwetsa o mong gore ha ke sebetse a tseba gore this person o sebetsa somewhere go ka ba le opportunities whatever ha ke re mpatlele msebetsi. I'm just passing the message gore ga o ka utlwa gore gona le something help me out.
Yeah.
But just because ke na le that pride ya cultural ke ranga ke kope this person wa bona gore na go go ba monna le go ba monna go na go ka tlamele go re go unlearn to a certain point.
Yes.
Because we are so fixated with being a man that I understand that I'm also a person.
You are human.
I'm human. I can feel pain. I can cry. It's again, I feel vulnerable.
And I
because
think
I want to be a man.
Yes. How important it is. You just said something very important. How important is it as a man to be vulnerable? How important is it to onto the emotions tsa gago, it's thinking, like you were saying, for you it was an amazing moment to see your dad share a tear, because you know we look at our dads and we think it was Superman, it was Spider-Man, mara ga o bona gore it's thinking ntate wa ka, you know, he's going through that. So, and I think that's one thing that I would like us to talk about, how important and why is it important for men to become vulnerable and to unpack their emotions.
Hey, work as something. I was dealing with a similar thing over the weekend for a friend of mine. He realized that he didn't heal. And I just realized that this friend of mine never healed through this thing. So now he's calling me, saying, "Ish, my friend, I've got a problem. You know, I've noticed that you've had this problem for many years now. How, Kire? Because you never gave yourself that time or ube vulnerable. But ube weak.
Yes.
When this thing occurred in your life, when you wanted to step up and show people you were strong,
Yes.
but not dealing with the emotion or this thing in limaditse ko gare. Now the importance of realizing or ulimetse, bese uba vulnerable. You it's like ko batho ba bang, it's like once I step away, it will be very difficult for me to come back. So let me not rather face this thing. Let me go over it. Now, going over it does not mean it's gone.
Yes.
It just means when I've decided to go over it. But
Mara
now,
yona e sa yemi
hobane ke
e
bophelo, when it catches up with you again, o ithola le makhateng. The importance of ho ba vulnerable, go thusa mo gore you deal with that thing earnestly. You deal with it. You make sure hore you wash it out of your system. Luena o tshoko pele ngore, you see now I'm healed out of this thing.
Yeah.
Now, but ba sa batleng go ba vulnerable, ba batla go ba strong. And not everything in life needs strength.
Yeah.
Go na le dilo tse tse batlang that gentle persuasion ya ore ya bona la. No nglemele or ngpaizile or ngenzeni no ngibe ipari ngibe yini ube wena admitang ora bona mo ke limits
Yeah.
mo a ke etsa ga ke tsamaya gantle wena because na go ba lenkanela ya gore ba nshebile because batho strangely enough all over the world rena le ntwe le gore ba nshebile.
We worry about what people
We worry
say
what
about
people
us.
say about us, yes. We worry. And that worries you, that anxiety, or if I can become vulnerable, then people are going to think I'm weak. And I'm not weak.
So I think it's something that you were saying, that it's important.
It's
That
important.
it doesn't matter, because rena re basadi ra lla, mape nna nka thoma ka lla ke na le others, and allow myself to talk about my things. You know, when I'm hurt, I'm able to express myself.
You see?
But batho ba bontate, it's important to say and admit gore ke utlwile botlhoko.
Nkutlwe botlhoko.
Yes.
Ko jwetse le go jwetsa nkutlwe botlhoko. Ke ska iketsa macho mene le ya gore aga mina azange izwe nix futhi nakangilahla or azange izwe nix nabangishaya lapha yana, I didn't feel anything nakushona ubani. No, there's no such a thing. Umuthu wanama. You see this thing ya gore re banna before re ba banna re bile batho re bile bana, and re gotse really re tlhokomelwa. Most of us re gotse re tlhokomelwa. There are some people unfortunately ba gotseng ba sa tlhokomelwa ka tsela e ba bang ba tlhokometse, but there was some type of care. There was some type of nurturing. And that nurturing e go etsa gore ube motho ube that vulnerability ya gore ulle utlwe botlhoko. You are susceptible to everything, everything susceptible to you to it.
And yes,
So it is not for me. I'll tell you, it's one of those things that when it came out in my life, you know what? I'm not Superman. I katola a space. See now, I'm going to cry over all these other things. Bottle up. I cried for this. I cried for this. I cried for this. I cried for a long time. Kabaka fitla realization I was really hurting. I was really hurting over this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing. Today it's easy for me to tell to a person,
yeah. Because you went through that and you allowed yourself
that's
to
what Superman.
And I think that's a fraud. Get a Superman, and yet the shortest verse in the Bible says Jesus wept. You know,
Wept. He cried.
He cried. And Renar Batrola, who are we?
Who are we?
Yeah.
You see now. when you have the opportunity, when you are feeling hurt, express your hurt. Bottling it up and keeping it up is just a ticking time bomb for some other instant. And that ticking time bomb, how sa gona le go control.
Yeah.
You go tsisa dilo tse leng out, tse leng wrong. So for bontate it is important hore as men we need hore re tlogele go ba monna njalo. Nako engwe ko be motho. Ube motho, ube a person, or no, I'm not a man, I'm a person.
And I'm going to be human, yes.
Yeah, I feel I can bleed. Motho ga ka nkotla no ke tlo utlwa botlhoko. This person ga ka nketsa so ke tlo utlwa botlhoko. O ga ka ntshwara gantle ke tlo taba. You see all those things.
Yeah, I think that Khethang, I'm going to take one more song, and when I come back, I think now ke batla gore anke re bua le lona le batho ba bontate ne hore the tips nyana tsa rona. I know one that we've spoken about is patience, and we've spoken about communication in terms of when we find ourselves in the new normal. Hore what is it that we as women to make our home still homey, and bontate gore ska feel ra haiba weekend when I come home when us all of a sudden osheba barking Kaizer Chiefs le Pirates go next door, and we shebile le nna ka mo ntlong, you know, or how do we meet each other halfway without feeling like we are growing apart? Because as much as we stayed in same houses during the COVID, most people grew apart.
They found
and I think
themselves,
people
yeah,
found
growing
that
apart.
and like I came le motho ke nang le ena ka mo ntlong, you know, because being with somebody in the same house confined for more than 40 days, the Jesus after 40 days, he'll get sharp. Yes, Busima Ngope. Thank you so much, Cathy. Thank you so much, Mema Ngope, for joining us. And Jabulile Zulu Masego are checking in. Thank you so much to all of you for tuning in. Like I said, today this is the month of November. We talk all things men, but at the same time, we're saying help us help each other. And I like what Khethang said, that you know what. The word help me, it doesn't mean hor omunke 70. You know, we have come to make it look like mudimu etseditse Adam 70. No. God didn't make Adam 70. So meaning that all of us, we are here to help each other. We are here to help each other one way. And he said something that is very important when we're talking about the issue of how do you help your men unlearn the habits because of monna khatla tse di jana, you know, monna gapi, monna gaitseng. And we find ourselves in the spaces sorry nna ke rwala beke in the morning, I go to work, sometimes I even come back home after 7, but then my partner needs to make sure that the kids bajile, I make sure I make sure by the time I come back I'm still that woman who is very happy, who can enjoy the environment, a homey that I used to create so that I can be of benefit to him as well. So that's the kind of topic that we're talking about, that how do we navigate ourselves in the new normal. Remember, this is the station that brings hope to the hopeless. We're taking one more song, and after that song we're just gonna continue and wrap up with certain things from Dr. Khethang.
About to make it hot. Predestined Live Radio.
This is Lady Gaga.
Hi, I'm Ariana Grande.
Hit music station.
What's up? I'm St. John.
Predestined Live Radio.
Number one hit music station. Woo!
What's up? I'm Doja Cat.
Predestined Live Radio.
De Alto Cedro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto, voy para Mayarín. De Alto Cedro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto, voy para Mayarín. De Alto Cedro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto, voy para Mayarín.
chan chan, en el mar servían arena, como sacudía el jibe, a chan chan le daba pena. Limpia el camino de paz, que yo me quiero sentar en aquel tronco que veo y así no puedo llegar. De Alto Cerro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto, voy para Mayarí. De Alto Cerro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto, voy para Mayarí. De Alto Cerro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto, voy para Mayarí. De Alto Cerro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto, voy para Mayarí. De Alto Cerro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto, voy para Mayarí. De Alto Cerro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto, voy para Mayarí.
About to make it hot. Predestined Live Radio.
This is Lady Gaga.
Hi, I'm Ariana Grande.
Hit music station.
What's up? I'm St. John.
Predestined Live Radio.
Number one hit music station. Woo!
What's up? I'm Doja Cat.
Predestined Live Radio.
Yes, welcome back. And I always get to dance for that part at Doja Cat. The other day I was talking to my kids about Doja Cat. I don't know what I said. I got to look like mama. Or I was seeing a picture of somebody get a Doja Cat, and all I got was like mama. That look like, don't start with us. But I don't know how she looks like, but I think I like when they say I'm Doja Cat and the song comes in. That's the part that I always dance to. I think that's like music. And like I was looking at Kiriano, you are taking us somewhere there, Buena Vista Social Club, Chen Chen. And you're about to go Cuba.
Cubans.
Cubans, eh? And I was teasing you, Kiriano, and I struggle. Whenever you talk about Cuba, the only thing that I can think of, I don't know, Erika's guy just now, maybe is it Castro or?
Yes, Fidel Castro.
So I'm right. Yay! My little bit of history. Yes, I could only think of him when you spoke about Cuba and everything. But I think it shows your diversity when it comes to music. Like you've got a taste. I was saying, you are being schooled here, in terms of music. And it's been a lovely playlist, a different one, and I'm enjoying it. And Khethang, before we went on a break, I said, what, when we're going to wrap up and everything, but I think with this topic of the role of man in the new society and the new normal, we need help as much as they need help. You know, besides the patience and the communication and everything, what is it that we can do to make sure that our homes are not broken, but if anything, we work together? And I liked it when you said, you know, when you say to Ntate, okay, come, we're going to cook together on a Saturday. That is one way of bonding, because we talk about things, we do things and all of. What other things can we do to make sure that we meet each other halfway and we don't feel strained, or the other feel like, you know, I'm giving too much into a relationship? Because I always say, if you give, you actually get tired, because your cup will become empty. And then when your cup is empty now, yeah.
Funny enough, I was Cathy. There seems to be an expert or a know-it-all for almost everything or lifing. But this point, we need the coaches, coaching people who have been married for some time. People need to go for coaching, for counseling. That's why I said, I highlighted earlier on, these days before you get married, the counseling, so you know exactly what you're getting into. If you get into it, the danger signs, when you've got only yourself to blame.
Yes.
But now those people that opportunity, they need further assistance in the journey, because they're still in the journey. It does not mean now there's a journey you know, that's why you need the coaches. You need batho coaching these people. Do you take time out for yourselves?
Yeah. Do you still do dating?
Do you still do dating?
Like, do you do jolo within your marriage?
Your marriage, things like that, you know. But those things where you come up to them to say, do you still go on date nights? Do you still, you know, buy your spouse a gift now and then to say, I appreciate what you're doing, this, and do you do that? They don't. So you need people who are going to remind them to say, this is still a journey. It's not the end of it. I think it ends when unfortunately some
yes,
or the other one passes, or we pass away.
Yeah.
But while Sansan repeal, it's a journey. And unfortunately for some, that journey I feel divorce because we still have to be civil as divorces. We still have to see one another. Yes, because now I have to come and pick up the kids. Or one of us has to come and pick up the kids, co-parent, everything. We still need to be civil.
Yes.
So rather avoid the issue of be civil later, be civil now. Talk to one another. Get help, get coaches, get people who can help you. There are those facilities more connected to somebody. Or you know what? I think now this thing is going down the river. We need Horekai channel or Horekai busa. You see? Yeah. You need such things.
Yeah, Ndata Khethang, thank you so much for making it clear, because I think we need coaching and counseling now more than ever before. Because I think COVID has shown us everyone steady flames. Everyone steady flames. So if you think you knew each other, if you think you knew yourself, now King that party divorce, for better for worse.
For better for worse, I said
yeah, no.
You ask a person, did you say actually for better for worse? I can't even remember. I never said such a thing.
I
just said what the priest was saying. So
yes.
You see now.
Yeah, no, but thank you so much for spending your morning with us and for enlightening us, especially when it comes to this thing that is the new normal. You know, I call it the new normal because very soon it's just gonna become normal. But now we still like, but now we are taking to find our feet, or how do we do that? But I'm happy that you brought it together to say that until we change our mindset to say we are in a relationship, we are in a partnership. You know, if we can look at each other not as equals, not as the other one above the other, look at each other as we are helping one another in this journey, then we shouldn't be having problems tsa gore ke mang a tisang tšhelete, ke mang a golang tšhelete e fetang ya mang, you know, yindoda wena umfazi. That shouldn't be an issue, but it shouldn't be a way to say, okay, now that the roles have changed, how do I meet you halfway with the things that you used to do, and how do I meet you halfway with the things that we used to do, and still have harmony, have patience with one another, communicate, and bona, let mjolo not die in a relationship. Let's still go out, let's still have fun, let's still do the things that, you know what, that used to make us laugh, you know, and enjoy those things, because it doesn't mean once we're in marriage, that's the end of it. But actually, it is the beginning of a journey. And then in order for this journey to work, we need partnership.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Your last words to our viewers and listeners, and then we're going to take a song and we sign out.
I would say, just remember that we are in uncharted territories. Just be patient. Be understanding. It requires a discerning mind. The future or no man. This is temporary. I mean, I'm hoping and praying that this COVID thing is a temporary thing. I know I listen to other people, I listen to other mediums, they telling me, no, this is going to be a permanent thing going forward. You see, if you think this one is worse, the next COVID or the next virus, and this one, it's going to be even worse than this one. So now you see, but I'm trying to live here, let my wife.
Trying to survive.
We're trying to survive. This is another thing. But try not to live in fear. I mean, fear of the unknown.
Exactly.
What if you don't get to tomorrow? Already you are being inactive right now. We are in a charter territories. People just try to be patient. Do not overthink things. Take it a step at a time, a step at a time.
Thank you so much, Tata Khethang, for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, that was Pastor Evangelist Ntate Goodwill Khethang. Relaxing, batung. We don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, and even the Bible said tomorrow will take care of itself. Let's worry about today. And think about what is it that I can do next. How can I be a better man? How can I be a better woman? How can I be a better citizen? How can I be a better neighbor, a better sister, a better daughter, son, and everything to the people that are around me? And how much can I show them love, respect, and be patient and hope that things will get better? And they will get better, because like we said, there's nothing new under the sun, and that which has a beginning has an end. So forever when I get stories for another day. But thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Until we meet again next week, the Lord willing, and may the good Lord bless you. We're signing out with Ntate Moses Mulelekwa, and then enjoy your weekend. Be blessed. Take care.
About to make it hot. Predestined Live Radio.
This is Lady Gaga.
Hi, I'm Ariana Grande.
Hit music station.
What's up? I'm St. John. Predestined Live Radio.
#1 hit music station. Woo!
What's up? I'm Doja Cat.
Predestined Live Radio.